I'm going to do a really simple quick tip here just to get you started with using tasks in your missions. And the first thing to do is just locate where you can find the create task module under systems, modules, Intel, create task. And if I open this up, you'll see there are a lot of different parameters here. And they're all, some of them are really important to get your tasks to function properly. The first thing I always do is to give it a task name, caps, cruise control for cool. And then I look at ownership. Ownership is really important, and I'll cover many of these options in a later video, I think. But for this quick tutorial, I'll just choose all playable units. And this works just perfectly if you're just doing small cooperative missions where all playable units are supposed to get the same task at the same time. Where it gets complicated, of course, is if you have two squads of playable units and they're supposed to do different tasks at the same time, or if you're doing competitive missions where you have a blue 4 and an op 4, which are supposed to get different tasks. But I'll cover that later, okay? Now, the title is not just the title of the task, it's also the text of the notification that pops up when the task assigns itself to the owner. So it's important to keep this a bit descriptive. For this demonstration, we're going to have the players move to the garbage pile, okay? Description is self-explanatory. It won't pop up for the players, but it'll the players can find it under the task tab in the map. So if you want to add some fluff, this is where to do it, some more description about what the mission or this task is about. Another important factor of tasks is that it can have a destination, and the destination for a task is a visual destination marker with the actual range to it that shows up not only on the map but also in the field of view of the player. And for some mission designers, that's immersion breaking and not realistic enough, and I can totally understand that. And if you are of that mindset, you can always disable destination by choosing disabled here. That way you can use the description or map markers or any other narrative tool that you have at hand in the Arma editor to tell the players where they're supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, okay? If you don't mind that visual indicator or you think it's cool, you have two different options. You can have that visual indicator on the actual position of the create task module on the map, or you can synchronize the create task module to an object. I'll choose that for this demonstration just to show you how that works and doesn't work. You can also choose different icons for this visual destination marker. I'll keep it at default for now, but you can see that you have plenty of different options to choose from. Now, one of the most important aspects of tasks are the different states, okay? You see we can have cancelled, failed, succeeded, assigned, and created states. If I just leave it at created now when I make this and press OK, it won't actually assign itself to the owner of the task, in this case all playable units. It'll just be created, and I'll need to switch the state of that task with an additional module. That's extra work for me. I just put it into assigned straight out of the box, so to speak. So that when the create task module is activated, it will activate itself in the assigned state, and that means that the players will get the pop-up on the screen and the information about the task in the map. So that's what I need to do initially to get the task working. Now, if I leave it like this, there is a bug or a feature or something with the create task module that if I spawn into the mission right now, the actual notification won't show up for the players. The task will be assigned, and I can find it in the map, in the task tab on the map. But as I said, the notification doesn't pop up, the lovely little text on top of the screen. So if I want that to happen, I don't know what that is, by the way. It might be something about in what order things load into the client side of a mission or something like that. But I know how to fix it, though, and that's the most important thing. I can put down a trigger that I just synced to the create task module. I'll give this a name just so I remember what it does. It assigns the task 1. I'll just put the condition to true, so the trigger will always trigger, but I will give the trigger a delay of 5 seconds. So now when the mission starts, this trigger will wait for 5 seconds, and then it will tell the create task module to activate and assign the actual task to the players. Okay. So the next thing is to synchronize this create task module with an object to get the destination working. Now, the thing I wanted to tell you is there are some objects in Arma. I'm not sure what they're called in programmer lingo, but they are these gray icons, items with the white frame around them or light gray frame around them. These won't work with the create task synchronized object functionality. So if you try to sync this to the actual garbage pile that the players are supposed to move to here, or pile of garbage, it won't show up as a destination. So I have to sync it to this tire that I put down here, which is a yellow object. Okay? That will function properly. And synchronized objects can also be moving vehicles, enemy units like enemy officers and stuff like that. So that's cool. The synchronized object will track and update the position of moving objects as well. So what I have now is just a trigger, waits 5 seconds, assigns the task to the all playable units, which is this guy down here, and it will pop up with a synchronized object as the destination. So what I need now is to actually have a way for this task to succeed. And to do that, I'll start by putting down a set task state module. I'll open that and set that to succeeded. And then I'll just sync it to the create task module. Now this won't switch the state of the task by itself. I've just told it to be ready to switch the state of this task from assigned to succeeded. So this is now waiting for a trigger to activate it. So I'll put down a trigger over here. Our mission was to move to this pile, so I'll just make a simple present trigger. I'll call this task 1 succeeded, so I know what it does. Activation, any player present, for example. You can have this be any odd thing. And that's it. All I need to do now is to sync this to the set task state module. So this trigger waits 5 seconds and then spawns the task, which is already in the assigned state. So it will assign itself to all playable units with a destination on this synced tire. Then this set task state module will sit around waiting for this trigger to actually trigger, and then it will switch the state of the task from assigned to successful. Now I forgot one important thing here, and that's of course to put down a radius for this trigger, like so. That should work better. So let's see how all that works in practice. Now, in itself, this isn't much of a narrative tool, but I'll show you in the next video how to chain these tasks together to kind of like form a driving narrative in your missions. But as you can see now, we waited a few seconds and the task has now assigned itself to all playable units. And if I open the map, you'll see that there is an indicator on the map. And there is also, if I open the task tab, a list of my active tasks. And here you have the description as well. Okay. So if everything works now, I should approach the garbage pile, and once I'm within 7 meters of that trigger, the task should switch its state from assigned to successful. And there you have it. Task completed, move to the garbage pile.